Welcome back. In the previous lecture, we understood how do we create the data frames in different ways. As a part of this lecture, let us try to understand how do we manipulate the columns. So now that we have created the data frame, what will we do with that? We need to manipulate them. We have to either select the columns or do something around the columns, because we have understood most of the transformations and manipulations we are doing by using the columns. As a part of this, we'll try to understand different methods to do that. To work with the data frame, we have different methods. We have a data frame has a columns and rows. Columns are important expressions. To manipulate the columns, we have useful methods. One of the important method is select method. We use the select method when we are working with the columns or expressions. On the other hand, if you want to work with the expression in strings, we'll use the select expression. Assume you are working in RDBMS database. You use a select SQL query. Select and select EXP almost work like a SQL queries to manipulate the columns. Let us see them one by one. What is happening here is, whatever the methods we have, like select and select XPR, may not be the only methods you may want to use as a part of your project. In that case, we do have many function or a group of functions as a part of the SQL functions. It is a package in Apache org with Spark with a multiple functions. We can go and check what are the relevant methods to do transformations on the columns. Let us see select method now. When we want to select, what will you do? We will either select one column or multiple columns. So how do we do that? The first and foremost thing is, as I said, we'll select the one column. Let us see how do we do that. Assuming that you have created a data frame, you have to specify the name of the data frame. This is the name of the data frame, and then use a select method and specify the column which you are trying to select. In this case, destination country name is a name of the column. This column belongs to this data frame. Then we can select a action, that is a show. This is how you select a one column. If you want to select multiple columns, it is just an extension of this, nothing great about it. You can use the same style of query as we have used and just add one more column into that. In this case, if you see, along with the destination country name, we are adding one more column name. This is selecting two columns. Both these columns are from this data frame. This is how you select the multiple columns. We understood the select method. How do we select one column or multiple columns? As we understand, expressions are also very important to manipulate the columns. In the previous lecture, we understood expressions are nothing but a set of transformations on one or more records in a data frame. What are transformations? Transformations are set of instructions to modify or manipulate the data frames. Now that we understood expression is a set of transformation, they are very flexible reference that we can use to do some transformations. Either we can refer to a column or we can also do a string manipulation of a column. What does it mean? See, here as a part of the expression, what we are trying to do here is, we are trying to do a string manipulation. For example, we are trying to rename this column as a destination. We are trying to string manipulation of a column. Now that we understood select method and also we understood the expression method. As a part of Spark, what happens is, combining them becomes a really wonderful use case. Noticing that Spark inventors combine select with the expression and came out with the select expression method. This is beautiful. The reason I am saying is, whenever you are trying to manipulate the columns or whenever you are trying to work with the data frames, what happens is, you may have to do some transformation on one column, but you want to select the other column as is. In that case, you can use the select expression method. The way you should use it, as usual, this is the data frame name, this is the name of the data frame, and here comes our select expression method. And if you see what we are trying to here is, this is an expression. This whole thing is an expression. Let me draw this. This whole thing is an expression. Okay. Here, what essentially we are trying to do is rename the destination country name as new column name. It can be anything. And also we are trying to select the destination country name. That means result of this will have two columns. One which has renamed the destination country name as a new column name, and also the original column as well. So you can see we are selecting the column also this way, and also we are doing some expression as well. And also it is not that we can build only simple expression as a part of select expression. We can also build complex expressions. Like if you want to compare two columns and derive some conclusion out of that, if you want to compare two columns and see whether both of them are same or not, in all those things we can use select expression. See how the way we are, this is the data frame name and we are using a select expression. Star means we are trying to select all the columns from this particular data frame. And if you really notice here, what essentially we are trying to do here is, we are seeing records in this column is equal to this column and rename the result as a within country. So this is a expression to check whether a flight is originating within the same country and also destination is also the same country, and renaming that as a within country column. Isn't it wonderful? We can have an expression also, we can select the columns also, depends on our usage. Assuming that you have a employee table which has some 4 columns, first, third and 4 columns. Each of the column has employee ID, employee name, employee department and also employee salary. Now post pandemic era, hikes have become really tough, right? The companies giving the hikes are less, but still some of the companies are giving the hikes to their employees. Assuming that company has to give a same amount of hike to all their employees, like some 5%. Is that enough for you? I know that you would like to have more hike, but considering for this particular problem, all the employees in a company want to have a 5% hike. In this case, what do we need to do? In this case, we need to pass explicit values into Spark data frame, right? Instead of adding one more column, we can do this by using a literals. Whenever you want to pass same values to all the records in the data frame, or you want to add a column or pass explicit values to a data frame with each record having a same value, you will do it through literals. When you use a literal, what essentially happening is the literals are translated from a programming language, basic programming language, to a literal value that Spark understands. What does it mean? Now we know that Spark has an API for different languages. Assuming that you are passing literals as a part of some different languages like Python, Scala or Java. Now that need to be translated into a literal value that Spark understands. That is what is essentially happening here. If you really want to pass a literal is nothing but one more expression. First of all, you need to import that. Okay, we are trying to ensure that you understand that this is a function. That is the reason we are trying to import the functions one by one rather than importing all of them together. Here, this is a data frame name and we are having a select. This is a expression and this is one more expression. We are trying to call this literal function to add 1 to all the rows in a data frame. And also we are renaming this, what are the column which is being added as a 1. I hope you understood. So now we already understood one example. Like if you want to add a same amount of hike to all the employees, we can use this. On the other way also, let us say if you want to check whether a value is greater than some constant or other programmatically created variable. For example, now you want to check a salaries of all the employees is more than $5,000 or not, or more than 50,000 rupees or not, then you can just add a one literal value with the 50,000 rupees or $5,000. Let us move to the practical and see all of these things in action.
As a part of our conceptual class on methods to manipulate the columns, we understood we have a couple of methods like select and select expression. We'll try to see all these concepts in action as a part of our hands-on class. First and foremost thing is how do we select one column? Then how do we select multiple columns? Let us see that in action. First and foremost thing is let us go ahead and create one data frame. We'll just make it as height is equal to spark dot read dot format. We'll be using a JSON format. Then we'll load the. Let me go ahead and check where is my path. I have already there. So this is the path. Copy and paste it here. Don't forget to copy file which you want to use to create the data frame. There you go. We are all set to create the data frame. I'm creating a data frame now. The name of the data frame is DF flight. So it's creating the data frame. Yes, it is done now. So just to check whether the data frame is created or not, can do a couple of things, either show some of the records. Yes, we do have a data frame created, or one more thing what you can do is you can just go ahead and print the schema of the data frame. There you go. So now we'll try how do we select a one column or couple of columns. Let's go ahead and do this now. First foremost thing is we can import some of the function from PySpark. Import call XPR lit. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Let's go ahead and import them. Yes, we imported them. Now we need to select a particular column. If you look at this data frame, we have three columns. Let us try to select one of these columns, destination country name. The way you do it is df first provide a name of the data frame and then select, then open brace, then you can in this one you can, so there you come. So this thing, this is how you select one column. Let us go ahead and see whether you're able to select one column or not. So let us run this in PySpark terminal. Yes, we are able to select only one column out of the three columns in the data frame. Now let us try to select multiple columns, or rather what we'll see is there is one more way of selecting the columns. What you can do is you can also use, you need to do a bit more typing here, but I just want to show you that so that you are aware of this. Okay, and I also need to make one more point there. So let us go ahead and see, it should work. There you go. You can do this also. Okay. Next is we have to go ahead and select the multiple columns. Let us try to extend whatever we have already written. So this one, let us say count. What is the name of? Yeah, I think count is the right name. So let's go ahead and there you go. You can select multiple columns as well. Now, one thing what I want to demonstrate here is we can also try to retrieve the columns in this way as well. Like dflight select, either you can specify this or this as well. That can be done. Now that we have seen how do you select one column and also multiple columns, you can also go ahead and use the expression as a part of the select statements. For example, here trying to rename the column name as something else. Let us try to execute this. Okay, right, select, and then come with the expr. So within that, all we have to do is go ahead and say destination country name. You are trying to rename this as the destination. Okay, rename this as a destination, and let us try to see. Okay, let's go and execute this and see what do we get. Is that we are trying to use expression as a part of the select. That is what we are trying to do. Now, as we have already seen, one of the very important aspect is combining the select and select expression. What is the advantage of here? We can select the columns as well, and also we can use some expressions as a part of this. Okay, we'll see both of them now. So again, everything you are doing with the data frame. So here select expr. Then what we can do is go ahead and open brace star. I want to select all the columns. So this one, and country name as destination. Okay, let us see if it works or not. Show fine. It works. We are choosing all the columns, and also we are renaming the one of the column as a one more name, column name. So this is renamed as a destination, and we are selecting all of the columns. Okay, that is how we can use the expression and also choose all the columns as well. So instead of choosing all the columns, you can choose only one column. It is up to you. For example, the way we can modify this is, let us say I want to choose only destination. Okay, destination country name, and let us go and execute this. How it works? Can do this as well. So it is up to you depending upon the requirement of the project. But one more thing what we can do is, let us rework on this and say, like, let us try to choose all the columns, and then we'll try to go ahead and modify this to have country name. Okay, we'll try to say domestic. Okay, so you're trying to choose all the columns. Along with that, we're trying to have one more expression added to this. So let us go and execute this. There you go. Wherever we have destination country name, which is not same as origin country name, you can see a boolean value as false here. The idea here is we are trying to combine the expression along with the selection as well. So that is how select expression works. Having seen select expression, the last thing as a part of this is how do we add the literals. As we discussed, in some cases we also need to add a or pass a common values. Let us try to do this. So dear flight, select, there we can use the select, and then XPR, try to choosing all the columns here, and then what you can do is you can say lit. You can just add your favorite number depending upon what you want, and also you can rename this as different column. Okay, so different column. We need to provide this. Okay, we added a literal value 5 as a one more column here. Wonderful. We have completed all the hands-on exercises of this particular topic.